Thursday night football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers visit the Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be my free play. I like Tampa Bay plus the 6.5. What a terribly disappointing loss this last week. But you know what? They're not playing that bad a ball right now. Minnesota is playing very good. I think they may be a little bit overrated. I always say you want to buy low, sell high. Minnesota's at a high, Tampa at a low. I think we're getting a little bit of a price break on this one, 6.5. Chuck? You know, this Tampa Bay offense is really, I think all season long, I think we've seen it improve. I mean, right now they're 5th in the NFL yards per play, six yards per play. Meanwhile, Minnesota, how about Ponder last week?
Wow.
How about that second half? One completion for 4 yards. I think he had 58 yards passing for the game. We know Minnesota can play defense, but if Adrian Peterson isn't able to run the ball, if Tampa could figure out a way to slow him down, they could easily cover this thing. VR?
You hit it right on the head. I like the under a lot in this game. It opened 43. We know how key of a number 43 is, 41 is. It's now 41.5. Lost a little bit of value, but I think there's still value there. I made my true over-under closer to 40, shaded it even a little lower. And here's why. If you look at Minnesota's defense, they've only allowed one team to score more than 23 points against them all season. This defense is solid. But when you look at Tampa Bay, look at the quarterbacks they've had to face. Last week they faced Drew Brees. They faced Peyton Manning. They faced Tony Romo. And I know Romo's not a stud, but he's a fantasy football quarterback that gets a lot of yardage, doesn't win games. He's tough to defend. And I'd even throw RG3 into that mix, has one of the highest quarterback ratings so far this season.
Tampa, did they face? They faced Eli Manning.
Eli, yeah,
okay, I thought you said Peyton.
No, Eli Manning. And now all of a sudden they got to face Ponder. I think that's going to be a cakewalk for this defense after having to prepare for quarterbacks like that. So to me, this has under written all over it. And we've seen during the weekday games, there's some value on these totals to go under the number.
A lot of them have gone under.
I think the public's going to go over. They saw Tampa score some points last week. You see a number like 41.5, 42. Public will probably make the line go up a little higher. I like the under. And if it goes under, you got a good shot where you're grabbing points in a low-scoring game.
The key stat, one of the key stats I'd like to look at is yards per attempt, pass attempt. Tampa Bay definitely is on the wrong end of that. They give up 8.5 yards per attempt. However, Ponder has one of the worst yards per attempt of any of the starting quarterbacks, 6.6 yards per attempt. The rest of Tampa Bay's defense really is very strong. 87.8 is the pass efficiency they give up, 3.1 yards per carry. That's the key one right there. That's a huge one. And 76 yards per game on the
After going against the Saints last week, this game's going to look like it's in slow motion for them. Seriously, after playing against the Saints, Minnesota offense is going to look like slow motion.
You know, that's a great point. You know, considering those stats that you just said, considering the offenses that they have played, and now you're going up against Ponder, 35.5 quarterback rating. I think that's last week. That might be the lowest one that I've ever seen. I mean, right up there, anyways. Did you look at Flacco last week? It's going to be pretty bad too.
He's not elite.
Not according to my stats. I'm looking at, listen, Minnesota's been better than expected. They're 5-2. I didn't think they'd be this good. They've had a pretty good schedule. They have one impressive win against San Francisco. The rest, I mean, listen, you play who you play.
Smoke and mirrors, man.
A lot of a lot of easy wins against very poor competition. They won the game as they had a kickoff return, a punt return. I mean, it wasn't Ponder who did it. I mean, there's a little trend here. I know we're not all big trend players, but Minnesota, after a win, the next game is 4-11 against the number here with Leslie Frazier over there. 4-11 against the number after a win. Okay, we've talked about it. I think I'm ready to make it official. I'm taking Tampa Bay plus 6.5 against the Minnesota Vikings. Tampa Bay can put some points on the board. They did last week against the New Orleans Saints. Josh Freeman threw for over 400 yards. I don't think he's going to do that again this week. I don't think he's going to need to. I think we're looking at a potentially low-scoring game, and I think in a game like this, I'm going to want to have the 6.5 points in my pocket. I'm going with the dog plus a 6.5.
You know what's funny? If you looked at the line before the season started and you wanted to bet it, Canner puts out, and they take 10 dimes a game. Yeah. So it's not like they're putting out this weak line and saying just for publicity, we're going to take $500 on it just so people could create buzz. They take 10 dimes, so they're going to put out a pretty strong number. Minnesota was 3. Now all of a sudden you're getting them near 7. Yeah, that's a huge change based on perception alone.
Yeah, Minnesota's definitely overachieved here, like you said, early on in the season. I think they're evaluated at a high.
Yeah.
Tampa's at a low. That's how you win in the NFL. Okay, coming up next, we're going to hear from Chuck Edel. He's going to tell us the winner in the Cincinnati-Louisville game, and you can watch all our videos at pregame.tv.